Imagine looking up at the night sky and realizing the moon is no longer peacefully orbiting above us but falling, slowly drifting closer and heading straight toward Earth. The silvery light that once calmed us now becomes a symbol of doom, a giant celestial body the size of a continent crashing into our planet. What would happen if the moon collided with Earth? At first you might notice small changes. The moon appears larger every night, brighter, closer, almost too close. People flood social media with photos, news channels run non-stop coverage, and scientists warn that something is terribly wrong. But for most of the world, life continues until the first disasters begin. Tides grow more extreme, coastlines flood, and waves rise higher and higher, reshaping entire beaches and swallowing coastal cities. Fishermen lose their boats, ports collapse, and trade routes across the seas become too dangerous to use. Animals that rely on the moon's cycles, turtles, fish, even some birds, become disoriented, and strange weather patterns start to emerge. Imagine living in a coastal city and waking up to the sound of sirens as water rushes into the streets. Do you think people would panic as they watch the moon grow bigger each day, or would they cling to hope until the very end? As the moon gets closer, its gravity pulls on the Earth like never before. Massive earthquakes shake continents. Skyscrapers sway violently, bridges collapse, and ancient fault lines burst open. Volcanoes erupt, spewing lava and ash into the sky, and entire regions vanish under fire and smoke. Oceans spill over as tides become unimaginably destructive, turning coastal regions into graveyards. Imagine tidal waves hundreds of meters high, devastating everything along the shores, turning cities like New York and Tokyo into watery ruins. Skies fill with smoke and ash. Rivers change direction, and humanity faces chaos even before the actual collision. Governments around the world would try to respond. Evacuations would be ordered. Planes and ships would be filled with desperate families, and underground bunkers would become the final refuge for the wealthy and powerful. But how do you evacuate billions of people from a planet-wide disaster? Where do you go when the very ground beneath you is preparing to break apart? As fear spreads, society collapses into chaos. Markets crash, food disappears, and people fight for any chance at survival. Then comes the moment no one can escape. The moon finally smashes into Earth, a slow-motion disaster in cosmic terms, but an instant apocalypse for us. The energy released would be beyond anything we could comprehend, more powerful than all nuclear weapons ever created combined billions of times over. The crust of the Earth shatters, oceans boil into steam, mountains flatten into dust, and continents tear apart. Where the moon hits a molten scar larger than any country burns through the surface, and debris the size of cities is thrown into space, some of it raining back down in a fiery storm that lights the sky brighter than the sun. But the destruction doesn't stop there. The collision would likely vaporize much of Earth's atmosphere, turning the planet into a hellish wasteland. Dust and molten rock fill the skies, blocking sunlight for years, and the surface becomes unlivable. Temperatures drop sharply at first, plunging the world into a freezing darkness, then swing to unbearable heat as the atmosphere collapses and pressure changes. Life as we know it would not just be endangered, it would be erased. Do you think even the strongest shelters could protect us, or would survival be impossible in a world so broken? Yet even in the darkest moments, there might be survivors. Deep underground in fortified bunkers or hidden in submarines beneath the ocean, small groups could cling to life. They would face a world unrecognizable, a planet colder, darker, and more dangerous than ever before. Imagine stepping outside to find no forests, no blue skies, no oceans as we know them, just burning craters and clouds of choking ash. Could humanity rebuild from the ashes, or would this truly be the end of our story? Scientists believe such an impact would completely reshape the planet. Earth might lose its oceans, its surface could melt into a glowing sea of magma, and eventually a new world would cool and form from the ruins. The moon itself wouldn't survive either, shattered into fragments that might orbit as glowing rings like Saturn, a haunting reminder of what once was. In a strange way, Earth might be reborn, but not for us, not for humanity. Here's the twist you might not expect. The moon has already crashed into Earth before, sort of. Billions of years ago, scientists believe a Mars-sized planet struck Earth, tearing off a huge chunk that eventually became our moon. Without that collision, the moon wouldn't exist. And without the moon, life as we know it might never have developed. The tides, the seasons, even the stability of Earth's tilt, all of these depend on the moon. So in a way, our closest companion in the sky is both a destroyer and a creator. A reminder that the universe builds through violence as much as it destroys. So when you look up at the moon tonight, remember it's not just a glowing rock in the sky. It's a guardian that shapes our world, a silent partner in our survival. But if it ever broke free of its orbit, if it ever fell, the end would come quickly and humanity would vanish in a blaze of cosmic fire. Do you think we'll always be safe? Or could the universe surprise us in ways we can't imagine? If this journey left you wondering about the fragile balance of our world, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who loves asking what if, and subscribe for more stories that dive into the mysteries of the universe. Because the more we imagine, the closer we come to understanding the cosmic story we're all a part of.